I'm torn. I really am torn. I really would like my last daughter to be able to experience the program. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to. As the backcountry person anyway, I can take her canoeing and I can take her hiking and I can take her on that sort of adventure that unfortunately a lot of other girls in our area are going to miss out on. But I have said that I am going to resign over this mandate because it is very personal to me, and I feel that they're taking away my personal choice and my freedoms, especially as a volunteer. I mean, it's not even my job. I volunteer. I've spent hours and hours and hours of my life volunteering for this organization, and I've gotten a lot out of it too. I'm losing this whole huge chunk of my life, and it's very, very sad.
Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
Sheila Gunn-Reid for Rebel News, and I'm just outside of Vermillion, Alberta, and I'm here with Carmen and her daughter, Emery, and they have quite a story to tell about Girl Guides Canada. You see, Girl Guides Canada is bringing in a vaccine passport program, not only for their volunteer leaders, but also for the girls. And so Carmen's going to talk about her experience with Girl Guides before now and then now going forward and what the vaccine passport means to both her and Emery and, I guess, the rest of the Girl Guides who either, for whatever reason, don't want to be vaccinated or will not participate in a vaccine passport program by showing their papers to be a part of the segregation. Carmen, tell me a little bit about your history with Girl Guides Canada. You're a bit of a lifer.
Yeah, I've been in for 15, 16 years. I've been a leader for a long, long time, led pretty much every group there is, done a lot of trips, been on area council, been on different levels of all different trainings. I'm one of the only ones that can take girls canoeing in Vermilion because I have done all these extra weekends and all these trainings. But over the 15 or 16 years, I've learned a lot of stuff and had a lot of great experiences and met a lot of really lifetime long friends. And I planned to be in this group for the rest of my life, even after my kids were done. So I have 3 daughters. This is the last one to go through the program. And my other 2 daughters, we were just gung-ho. We did everything we could. They were on different councils and they did a lot of extra volunteer work. And, you know, this was something we've done for our entire life. The very first time she went to a rally, she was like 3 months old because I had to take her because I was, feeding her. But lifetime kind of commitment that's been pretty much shattered, and it's very sad.
Emery, what does Girl Guides mean to you?
I've been in it my whole life. It's a great friend. Like, I've made so many good friends from there. And I've been to Europe, and I've been to Ontario. And it's just amazing, and I love the program so much, and it's just heartbreaking that I cannot participate anymore with even if activities. Like, Mom and I can do the program work at home by ourselves just fine, but if I want to go to a camp or if I want to go on another trip, I can't do that, and it's just very sad.
So tell me exactly what the Girl Guides vaccine passport program is. It just was announced a couple weeks ago, and I saw an email, I think this morning or last night, that they are demanding proof of vaccination for the girls also, not just for the leaders. So tell me what exactly it entails.
So it came out last week to leaders, and it basically said that you needed to have proof of vaccination, which, number one, I felt was funny because we've never had proof of vaccination for measles, mumps, anything else. So it came out, and I was quite upset, and then we had an area meeting on that, and I sent an email in as well to say, can we do the 72-hour testing? Yeah. And then I got an answer back saying they were not even going to accept testing because it's not reliable. So you have to get the vaccine or you're not welcome to come in and go to anything in person. You can switch to virtual only. But I tell you, it's really hard to take a girl canoeing or backpacking virtually. So, which is my big focus, is the outdoor adventure stuff. So it came in. We had a meeting. I wasn't very happy with a lot of the answers. I sent some emails around, still not happy with the answers. So I am not welcome to be there as an unvaccinated person who's choosing not to get vaccinated. And then yesterday, I think I got the email for her saying that I had to have proof of vaccination, click this link and make sure you show her proof of vaccination or she's not welcome to come either. So both of us are not welcome to come to any in-person function in any way, shape, or form.
Now, what does that feel like for you after participating in this program for, I guess, forever? All of a sudden, you're, I guess, unclean, like not good enough.
Yeah, because we're all the same, pretty much. And we have our shots, but nobody ever asked you about those. So you can go to anything, and now all of a sudden, if you don't have this one vaccine, you can't go and see the friends that you've made or the leaders that you look up as other relatives because you've been with them your whole life. So now I cannot see that family for me.
You know, and I saw some of this last year when all of a sudden, even though flu seasons prior, they didn't cancel cookie selling door to door, but all of a sudden they canceled cookie selling door to door when you're outside. You're door to door, but they canceled cookie selling.
Yeah. We've been a family that has done a lot of intensive fundraising. We've sold 50, 60 cases of cookies, twice a year. Yeah. Because we've fundraised to go to Europe, and we fundraised to go to Ottawa for Canada Day and lots of other backcountry trips. But yeah, all of a sudden we couldn't sell cookies. And so now we're stuck as a town with, 100, 120 cases of cookies, and we did get them sold. It's been a bit of a struggle. My kids have still been fairly consistent with going out and trying to sell cookies and trying to follow whichever mandates that we could, but we still had to get the cookies sold because they were still going to take the money anyways for them. And so that's been frustrating as well with regards to the main fundraiser we haven't been able to do. And that funds everything else that we do. And there's been some repercussions with regards to Girl Guides National with regards to not being able to sell those cookies and not having the money available to them to do the things that they've normally done.
But they're perfectly fine to get rid of one of their best fundraisers because of your vaccination status.
Yeah, so I sell huge amounts of cookies in my family every year, and I guess we're not going to be able to do that for them anymore.
Now, part of Girl Guides Canada is about girl empowerment, making them more confident, and that everybody belongs. That's one thing that Emery sort of touched on, is it's that you're all a family, regardless of race, religion, creed, or it used to be vaccination status, because nobody ever asked about your vaccination status before. And Carmen, you printed this off for me, and maybe you'll read it for us. This is from the Girl Guides Code of Conduct.
Yeah, Girl Guides of Canada does not tolerate unlawful discrimination on the basis of race, national or ethnic origin, citizenship, color, religion, sex, age, mental or physical ability, political beliefs, socioeconomic status, health-related status, which is, I underlined that because that makes sense, sexual orientation, marital status, or any other grounds enumerated in the human rights legislation of the jurisdiction in which the individuals are located. And that is a Girl Guides Code of Conduct excerpt. That we have to sign the Code of Conduct every year when we sign our daughters up. We have to sign the Code of Conduct as a leader every 3 years when we have to get our paperwork and renew our paperwork every 3 years. So I've signed that numerous times over the how many years, and they're going against it. That's the part that's really making this hard to accept, is that they say all these things, and I feel they really are going against what they say.
So what's next for you guys? What happens now?
I'm torn. I really am torn. I really would like my last daughter to be able to experience the program. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to. As the backcountry person anyway, I can take her canoeing and I can take her hiking and I can take her on that sort of adventure that unfortunately a lot of other girls in our area are going to miss out on. But I have said that I am going to resign over this mandate because it is very personal to me, and I feel that they're taking away my personal choice and my freedoms, especially as a volunteer. I mean, it's not even my job. I volunteer. I've spent hours and hours and hours of my life volunteering for this organization, and I've gotten a lot out of it too. But in the meantime, I think I have to be done with something that's been a huge part of my life for many years. And like Emery was saying, I have this whole friends group of people that I consider family. Yeah. And I'm not necessarily going to be able to see them at guiding functions anymore. I would assume I'm going to remain friends with them as much as we can see people nowadays. But I'm losing this whole huge chunk of my life, and it's very, very sad.
Emery, Girl Guides is supposed to make girls confident to make their own choices, and yet you're basically being forced to leave Girl Guides because of a choice that you made. How does that feel?
It's very... I can't remember the word. Disheartening. Because we're stand up for your opinion, make it heard, but yet this opinion, it doesn't matter. We have to get it, otherwise we cannot participate. And it's totally just going back on everything they've been trying to teach us from day one of entering the program. And it's just terrible.
I think it is terrible. And as someone who lives rurally, like you do, we know that vaccine uptake is a lot less in the rural communities than it is in the big cities. So this is basically going to carve rural guides out of the program.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think Vermillion will be able to continue with guiding. The two leaders that we used to have a lot of girls. We don't have a lot of girls anymore. And then especially with the last 2 years of lockdowns and trying to do virtual meetings that most people are not exceptionally engaged in when they can go run around outside, because we do live in the country, most of us. Yeah. So I think this might be the end for Vermillion, just because myself and the other leader associated with Vermillion, she's resigned as well. So there's nobody here to run the program, which is just devastating to me. I've worked hard and had up to 50 girls doing stuff, and now we've been down to 5 or 6, and now we're pretty much down to 0. So I think it's kind of the end in Vermillion. I would like to say that there is a brighter aspect to come to, but I think it's pretty bleak.
Now, I'll ask the same question to both of you. A message to Girl Guides Canada. If they were listening, and maybe they will, I'll reach out to them. We'll see. They probably won't get back to me. I'll be shocked if they do. But if you were able to send a message directly to them, what would it be?
It's a great program. It teaches us all about life and life skills and how to grow as a person, and holding off for people who do not have a vaccine is disgusting.
I just think it's so unfair. I think that to mandate something like this when it's not necessarily something that is, they're taking away my personal choice. And when you take away somebody's personal choice, people start to get a bit upset. And I know that there's a whole sect of people that think, oh, but I don't want to be next to you because you're not vaccinated, right, and that they're scared. And I think that we can't live our life in fear. We have to live our life with regards to what we think is right. And I've been teaching my girls constantly what I think is right and how they need to stand up for themselves. And Girl Guides was always a part of that. And I think now that that's being taken away, if Girl Guides was listening, this is not fair. It is against constitutional rights, Charter of Rights and Freedoms. It's against your own mandate with regards to what you've written in your code of conduct and inclusivity. And the hypocrisy of it is what really makes me very, very sad. And I'm sad to see that guiding is not going to be able to succeed at a certain level because of a choice that they made due to social pressure.
Well, ladies, I want to thank you so much for taking the time, inviting me out to your farm, and speaking out about something that's so important to you. You've invested so much time in this. I know that there are other families just like yours who are being forced to make this very tough decision right now. Friends at home, if you'd like to support the work that we are doing here at Rebel News to fight vaccine passports, you can go to fightvaccinepassports.com. You can make a donation there. We're taking 20 strategic cases all across the country. We're going to see what we can do to have those vaccine passports overturned. Just outside of Vermilion, Alberta, for Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn-Reid. Vaccine passports are affecting Canadians in ways that we could never have even contemplated, and that's why it's so important to fight back, to help us fight back in our 20 strategic legal cases that we're taking in jurisdictions all across Canada. Please go to fightvaccinepassports.com.